Would you guys by chance know what month it is? I swear, my days are just melding together at this point. Posting videos every single day, I tend to lose track of the actual specific date. Sometimes it's the weekend, I forget it's the weekend and things like that. You guys get the point. But who am I kidding? Why would I ask all of you guys? We have perfectly fine technology this day and age. If you got a mobile device, I'm sure you can find the exact date. So let's see, what is it today? So it's Wednesday, March 4th. March, something is ringing a bell, guys. Something about March is important. We have an update this month. I'm surprised I forgot. What the heck? I have to do all that hard work. I was very much so inspired by Lex's most recent update video where he outlined his very honest predictions as to what's going to be coming out in this next update for Brawl Stars. So none of the things along the lines of, I hope this comes out in the next update, or I hope we'll see this down the road in Brawl Stars' very near future. We're going to really pinpoint down on what is feasible for this update and what would make sense to come. So hopefully you guys are all pumped up. Let's get straight away into it. Here we go. Okay, guys, so like I mentioned before, we're going to be 100% completely brutally honest with our update prediction video that you're about to see here today. What is feasible to come to Brawl Stars in the month of March? No reaching whatsoever, things that make sense for the game. Now, the way I'm going to be structuring this video is I have a tier list where we have a 100% almost guaranteed things that I believe are going to be coming to the game. We'll say 95%. It's hard to say 100% unless you completely know. And then I have a 50% tier, things that I think make sense, but still a little bit unsure just because we haven't had that much confirmation from the Brawl Stars community, i.e. the dev team and things along those lines. And then we also have like a 10%, very slim chance of things coming. Alrighty guys, so before we get into the update predictions, I do highly recommend you subscribe to the channel with post notifications. I always cover every single piece of update content whenever it comes out, including sneak peeks and the actual content when it comes to the game. So I'd highly recommend you do so. But what I do want to start off with in today's video is our 90%, 95%, almost 100% certain things that I believe are going to be coming out in this next Brawl Stars update. Now, the very first one, and I think this one is very obvious, this one is more towards the 100% category on the list, and that is a new Brawler. I'm not sure what the new Brawler is going to be. I'm not sure what family it's going to fit under whatsoever. I don't think personally that this next update is going to be this next big themed update that was teased in the Halloween animation that we received during our Brawloween update. I think that's going to be a little bit more down the line. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised that this update might be a little bit on the smaller side as to what they might be thinking in their heads, but still I am thinking we're going to be getting a brand new Brawler. I can almost assure you we will. Now, as for the rarity for this new Brawler, I'm leaning towards 3 different possibilities. I know that sounds like a lot, but I promise it'll make sense. The rarities I'm leaning towards is either a rare Brawler, a super rare Brawler, or a legendary. Now, the most recent Brawlers that we've been getting in the game have been very high rarities, so I'm sort of leaning away from the legendary, but it still wouldn't surprise me because we've been kind of going up in rarity. We received a epic Brawler as well as a mythic Brawler in one update, and then we received another mythic with Mr. P, newest Brawler here in the game. So they might just keep that progression going up to the next rarity on the list, which would be legendary. But we did just get Sandy, so I'm kind of with a gut feeling in mind, kind of straying away from that. So I'm really leaning towards a rare or a super rare Brawler. It's been quite a while since we've gotten a Brawler in those rarities. The last rare that we received was Rosa, so quite a while ago, and the last super rare we received was Carl, so a really long time ago. And also the discrepancy between the higher rarities are starting to outweigh the lower rarities in the game. We only have 4 each of super rare and rare, where now we're getting towards 5 epics, we have 5 mythics, and 4 legendaries, which is pretty insane. So for my final prediction for this new Brawler, I believe it's going to be a super rare. I'm going to be sticking with that, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was a rare or legendary. We'll have to see. Moving along to our next prediction that I'm almost certain is going to make it here inside this next update, and that is a Pam remodel. Yes, I'm siding with Lex on this one. Lex brought it up in his last update speculation video that Pam should be receiving a new remodel, but I'm also going with it in this one as well, backing up my boy. I think she definitely needs one, and I think the Brawl Stars dev team has been looking at Pam for a remodel for a very long time. Now, the reason Pam desperately needs a remodel change, in my opinion, is that she's one of the earliest new brawlers added to Brawl Stars, not just the brawlers that came with the base game. I believe Pam was the third brawler if you include Tara in there, because they were both released at the same exact time, so you could count them as both the second newest brawlers or newest additions to Brawl Stars. So she's been in this game for a super long time, and she still looks kind of a bit different than the other newer brawlers in the game with their new remodels, as well as I was taking a look at it with some of my remarks in our most recent update speculations videos, saying that the Brawl Stars dev team is still looking at a lot of the brawlers that need to be remodeled, and I was looking through here, and there's not that many brawlers that need remodels. If you really look at it closely, Pam is the huge outlier when it comes to something that needs to be changed about her model. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's something that we can expect in this next update. Next on our list of predictions, guys, I've been raving about these things for quite some time now, and that is the new bow skins that are going to be coming to the game here shortly. I think the Horus bow as well as demonic bow are going to make it in this next update. There's a few reasons as to why I believe that. Number one is the fact that they were kind of modeled for the Brawl Stars dev team. They just have to kind of make their tweaks. One of the things about Supercell Make is that you have to upload it with a 3D rendered model of that brawler. So the Brawl Stars dev team doesn't even have to do that. They can kind of just take that base 3D model and run with it. Of course, they have to go through all the animations, the attack animations and stuff like that. That does take time, but it's kind of like they kind of skipped that first initial step. So it's kind of like in the making, like they have to. It's like there for the taking. Horus bow, demonic bow, I think they're in there. So I think we can kind of put our money on seeing a Pam remodel as well as a skin. Now, I also believe there's going to be other skins, maybe one more. We're looking at a total of 4. 3 seems decent. We're kind of on the right track, but 4 maybe, and I don't know what skin that would be. It would be cool if you guys would leave your predictions in the comments down below. What brawlers need skins? Now, for this next prediction, call me crazy all you like, but I have a really good feeling about this being in the next Brawl Stars update, and that is a new game mode. But not a trophy-based game mode, a special event ticketed game mode coming to Brawl Stars. Guys, it has been ages since we had a new ticketed game mode, let alone any changes. So I feel like these 3 game modes have just kind of been sitting out there in limbo, not getting that much attention as of recently, where once the ticketed game modes were really popular. Everyone was just wondering what's the best new strategy every single weekend that would come around, really excited to spend their tickets. There was once a point in time where I didn't have that many tickets saved away, scrambling to try to find more once the weekend came around for Brawl Stars content or just to have fun. So to wrap up this prediction so we can move on to the others, my final say is I think we have a high chance of getting a new special event game mode, or we're going to get changes to existing ones that we already have in the game, i.e. new maps, stuff like that, or, and I think the more likely of the outcomes would be the removal of one of these 3 game modes. As you all know, Frank has alluded to removal of big game for quite some time with that image that you can see on your screen here of the Grim Reaper coming in on big game after deleting some of the game modes that we've had in the past. So I could see that coming to fruition in this update as well. And my final prediction that I'm really certain is going to come in this next Brawl Stars update isn't a very big one, but I think we're going to get a lot of UI changes as well as bug fixes. As you all know, there's been a lot of like little bugs popping up in YouTube videos where like Mortis is glitching through walls, is glitching on water, is flying through the air, or brawlers doing weird things in the game. I think that stuff is going to be corrected, as well as in the last update we had a lot of interface changes in the game. I think there's going to be some updates in particular to those types of things, such as the chat. When you're readied up, you can't see a chat notification bubble when you're readied up, which is a really big pain. I know people have complained about that in the past. Very small, minute things that are small but still really important for the player experience, so that type of thing as well. So guys, moving along to our 50% certain segment here of the video today, outlining things that I think are feasible for this next update depending on how big it is, but also aren't as certain as the ones that we already went over in today's video. So the very first one is the brand new environment that a lot of people have been talking about for quite some time, myself included, the Arabian update theme that was leaked out during the Brawloween Halloween animation not too long ago. Now, I've talked about this theme change countless times in a lot of our videos leading up to this update that's coming out this month, but in my opinion, call it a gut feeling, I don't think this theme change is going to be coming for quite some time now, maybe a few updates in the future. There is a few different reasons as to why I thought it could be in this update, one being that this update break was a month and a half, alluding to this update might be a bit bigger than normal, but for some reason, again, a gut gut feeling, I am leaning towards this update being kind of like a middleman update in between some huge updates that we've already received in the past. The last 2 updates that we got were gigantic, guys. So I think it makes sense for this update to be a little bit on the smaller side, getting the new Brawler, the new possible game mode, some new skins, getting that fresh content, but nothing insanely groundbreaking. So for my next 50% certain prediction for this next update, it's going to be new abilities or powers in the game that we've alluded to in a lot of our videos in the past, and that is like having another button on your screen where you tap it, where it might kind of serve sort of like a star power, but just adding a bit more depth with the gameplay. Now, it's for the same reasons, or some of the same reasons as the new theme change, being that is a very big implementation into the game. It's going to be a very groundbreaking addition to Brawl Stars, and to be honest, I wanted to put this in the 10% certain category, or 0, but there have been a few things that Frank has been saying on Twitter that have been leading me to believe that it could possibly be a bigger update, but for some reason my gut feeling is still telling me that it's going to be a bit smaller, but you never know. So some of the things, and definitely looking into it, that Frank has been saying over on Twitter is that he's very proud of his team, some of the things that they've been coming up with the very short time that they've been working on this update, meaning the fact that there could be something really cool in the works that the dev team has made that really hasn't come to the game yet. I'm not sure. He seems really excited for what has been in development for this update. So that's the reason why I'm putting these bigger chunks in the 50%. If I hadn't seen that, and it might just be me looking into it, I could be putting these things in the 10%. So I'm basically giving them a chance. They could be in this next update. Oh, and also I do want to shove in a new concept into the new ability where it add a bit more depth inside of Brawl Stars, and that is the power level 11 that Lex brought up in his video not too long ago. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure to go watch his video, but it's a really interesting concept where we would add another power level, so everyone would still have to level your brawler up even though you have them maxed out, and that could give way to that new ability. I was proposing that the ability could be a lower thing where you unlock at like level 6, giving like free-to-play players a bit more depth in the game, but it would make sense to add another power level to add even more depth with the higher level pro gameplay. And the final 2 things that I have in our 50% category is a customizable map maker in Brawl Stars, as well as emotes. Now, once again, the customizable map maker was also in Lex's video. The reason I'm implementing this was some of the things that he was alluding to in his update that were really compelling, and a lot of it stems to his interview that he had on his channel as well. So again, make sure to go check that video out as well. If you guys want to keep up to date with all this update stuff, make sure you guys are staying in the loop with that stuff. But in the interview, he was interviewing Danny as well as one other person, and when Lex brought up the question of a customizable map maker, they were very quick to answer the question. So Lex's reasoning was that they already had that kind of in their minds, like they had that maybe going in development, or that was a very like hot topic at the Brawl Stars dev team, so that was very fresh in their mind, so they could give a very quick answer like that. So it makes sense. It's pretty compelling getting a customizable map maker. That would be amazing for videos and tribe videos in the future, being able to make your own game mode and your own fun things on the map. I think it would add another great element of fun inside of Brawl Stars, so I'm very keen on that. That would be a great addition to the game, but I'm still not really certain that it would be a 100% certain thing, but prove me wrong, Brawl Stars. That'd be freaking awesome. And then the other thing is also emotes. So of course, emotes in the game, we already have a few kind of little like emotional emotes in the game where you can show if you're sad, happy, or mad, and different phases for those, but I could definitely see me like offered emotes, much like we see in Clash Royale, where there's like a limited emote that you can spam amongst your friends. And I would also love at some point to be able to have emotes in the game while you're also just playing in the game, much like in Clash Royale as well. It might be a little bit BM, like I mentioned before, but hey, BM can be fun in some circumstances, as well as it would be a really great communication tool if you're playing in 3v3s with random teammates, or a team comp if you're not on VCs. So emotes, I think, are a great addition to Brawl Stars here or down the line. Okay guys, so we're moving along to the final category in today's video. I'm going to kind of speed through these because I know this video is probably already going to be very, very long, but this is the category of basically 10% through 0% certain. So there's like a very slim chance, but you know what? Nothing is impossible if you guys catch my drift. Things can be added to the game that just blow away our expectations that we don't necessarily expect. So take it with a grain of salt. So the very first one is an extension to the trophy road that we have already here in Brawl Stars. We have confirmation over on Twitter from Frank himself saying that it won't be in this next update. So yeah, this is a 0%er. This is not a 1%, a 10%. This is a 0%. Even though I know a lot of people have been asking for it for a really long time, I don't think 14,500 is too difficult for a lot of players to get to inside of Brawl Stars, even though there are still a lot of people still working their way up there. But I think if you have, say, like 25 brawlers, 30 brawlers, if you're maxed out, you should be at that point in Brawl Stars by now. So there's a lot of people still asking for that extension. So maybe we'll see that down the road, but if it's not that big of a priority for the dev team right now, it's probably not that big of a priority down the line either. So time will tell. And the final thing that I have for you all in today's video for our 0 to 10% certain category is a new trophy-based game mode. Now, you can call me crazy about this one as well, but I feel like a lot of the past updates that we've been receiving, we've been trying with these new game modes, but they just haven't been very successful. I feel like the whole Brawl Stars community just doesn't want a new game mode in the game as of right now. We are very fine with the game modes that we have already in the game right now, which is very weird. Normally a new game mode comes out, people are hyped up, but what we've been seeing from these updates in the past is with like Hot Zone and Present Plunder and Graveyard Shift is that it's incredibly popular with the update. People have fun when the update hype is still buzzing, but once that update hype dies down, it seems the game mode also dies down along with it. I feel like the whole like new trophy based game mode need or want from the Brawl Stars community just isn't high enough at this point based on the last 3 that we received. But yeah guys, those are all my predictions for the new content coming in this update, and the final thing that I want to end with in today's video is when I think the update is going to come out. In Lex's video, he gave an exact date, and I'm going to do that as well. I think the Brawl talks and stuff like that, the hype and the sneak peeks are going to be coming out towards the middle of the month. That's what we've seen from a lot of the updates in the past. Normally it's not in the beginning of the month, normally it's not at the very end of the month. Maybe the actual update coming out is at the end of the month, but I think the update hype stuff is going to be coming out smack dab in the middle. That's what I'm going to say. And then when the Brawl talk comes out, normally we have like a day or 2 of sneak peeks and then the updates. So Lex said the 19th, I'm going to say the 18th. That's where I'm shooting, and I think if we kind of like band together, Lex and I will hit like a nice little dartboard of like stretching it out. One of us is going to be right, hopefully. You never know. But again, I literally know nothing about the update right now. Once I do, I'll be able to get that information out to you guys in forms of sneak peeks. So get hyped, make sure to stay tuned. Hopefully you guys are excited. If you are, make sure to slap a like on it. I would really appreciate that. And with that being said, make sure to keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.